Hello and a very warm welcome. Miami driver ratings. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10 for their weekend. Lando Norris picked up his first win in Formula 1. Let's jump into it. It's going to be a tough one this week because a lot of drivers, they've had a good sprint, a shit race, or they've had a shit race, a good sprint. So this one's going to be a tough one. Let's jump into it. Max, 9. Pole for the sprint, won the sprint, was dominating the race. He hit a cone, brought out the virtual safety car. But yeah, the main safety car came out. Max was in second. I think everyone was expecting Max to just pass Lando Norris and win. It's still a great weekend. He's still going to be the champion. But yeah, only second. Sergio Perez, 5. Qualified 4th and finished 4th. He goes up 1 place due to Carlos's penalty. But unfortunately for Sergio, it was the 2023 Sergio. At the start, he's so close to Max, almost wipes out his teammate. And yeah, really not good enough for Sergio Perez. That was the Perez of 2023. Lewis Hamilton, 6. Now this is where I'm talking about very hard to mark because Lewis Hamilton had a dreadful sprint. He caused the first lap collision. Madness. Then he got a drive-through penalty. But yeah, in the main race he finished 6th and was fighting with a Red Bull. So that was positive. And in the race he did a good race. George Russell, 5. Just really average. I mean, it's got to be 5. I thought nothing really. Qualified 7th, finished 8th. Poor race. Nothing more to really add. Standard. Charles Leclerc, 9. His weekend got off to the worst start as he spun. But after that, I mean, sprint qualifying 2nd, sprint race 2nd. Then finished 3rd in the main race. A very good weekend by Charles. He's come out and said a lot of people are talking about my teammate, etc. Well, he's put the marker down this weekend. Carlos Sainz, 7. Qualified 3rd. Finished 4th on the road, but goes down to 5th with a penalty. Contact with Oscar. He was very unhappy because he thought Oscar gained the position. He was screaming for it to give back. Then he's put a move into basically what's the last corner. Oscar got wind damage and Carlos has received a post-race penalty. Lando Norris, 10. Wow. I honestly thought this day would never happen. But he is a race winner. He qualified 5th. And picks up his first win. It was a poor start, but he was avoiding contact with Perez. His first stint is nothing special. He's in 6th, chasing down Perez. Perez pits, that gives him free air. Then he was very fast. He stayed out the longest, and then the safety car came. And that has basically made his race. But his last stint was exceptional. The pressure's on, Max is behind him, and he's just created a gap, 7 seconds. Did he get lucky with a safety car? Yes, but he is a race winner. He's not going to care about that. Oscar Piastri, 7. I feel really bad for Oscar, honestly. When is this guy going to get some luck? Qualified 6th. In the end, he finishes 13th, but that doesn't tell you the story. In the first stint, he's running 2nd. He was very fast. But then, safety car's not helped him. Then he's had contact with Sainz. Had to change the front wing. Disaster, really, for Oscar. But the pace is there in that McLaren. Fernando Alonso, 3. And I've got to hammer Fernando Alonso. I thought, he scored points. He finished 9th. but a real off weekend for Fernando Alonso. I don't know what was going on with him. The sprint, it's poor. He's qualifying 15th, you know. It's terrible by Fernando Alonso. Very rare to see Alonso have an off weekend, but you've got to say it how you see it. Alonso was poor. Lance Stroll 5. Now, a positive for Lance is he beats Fernando Alonso sprint qualifying and the main qualifying, but then his race is garbage. So, yeah. You're thinking Lance Stroll, you know, you're looking 6 or 7, but then he has a terrible race, finishing 17th. Positive for Lance, out-qualifying Alonso. Gasly, 7. A real positive weekend for Alpine. He qualified 12th, finally beat Ocon for the first time this season. He finished 12th, his best result and best performance, I would say, of the season, Gasly. Yeah, positive for Alpine. Esteban Ocon, 8, qualified 13th, finished 10th. First points for Alpine as a team. That is huge. Sauber and Williams still yet to score. And a mega battle between these two on lap 1. I mean, they've got history. They got so close on their first lap. Alex Albon won. Wow. Dreadful Alex Albon. Lap time deleted in sprint. Qualified last. I mean, then qualifying outbraked himself. Finished 14th. Then in the race, again outbraked himself. 19th. Dreadful by Alex Albon. There's no sugarcoating it. That is his worst weekend of 2024. And Williams need to get their act together. I said they would underachieve this season. And so far, they're yet to score. You have to say, what are they even doing this for at this point? Logan Sargent, 5. Actually beat Albon in sprint qualifying. Qualified 17th. And standard 5 because he retired in the race. He was taken out by Kevin Magnussen. Rumour has it this was going to be his last race. James Vowles come out and said that is not true. So we wait and see what happens. 1'1", 9. Yeah, once again, wow. His race, man. Jesus. It's impressive. P8 in the sprint. P10 qualified and then 7th in the race. Sensational again by Yuki Tsunoda. What is going on with him in the race? He's just delivering, consistently scoring points. Yeah, brilliant by Tsunoda. He's finished ahead of a Mercedes. 7th in the race. Wow. Daniel Ricciardo, 6. Now, honestly, Daniel Ricciardo, I don't know what's gone on. He is one of the guys that is very difficult to mark because he's had a great sprint, a fantastic sprint, qualified 4th, finished 4th, and then in the main qualifying, qualifies 18th, gets a free place penalty, so starts the race last and finishes 15th. So, up and down weekend for Daniel Ricciardo. Steady Eddie, 5. Last in qualifying, 14th in the race. Honestly, hardest guy to mark. Bottas, 5. Qualified 16th, finished 16th. Safety car timing, horrendous for Bottas. Nico Hülkenberg, 8. Wow. Superb. Once again, Nico Hülkenberg. Wow. Honestly. Yeah, can't speak highly enough of him. Sprint race, finishes 7th. 2 points on the board. Qualifies 9th. Starts the race, he's holding off Lewis Hamilton. He's in a Haas and he's defending off Lewis Hamilton. Finishes 11th, just outside the points, but superb weekend once again for the Audi-bound man. Kevin Magnussen, 0. Honestly, I want to tear this Danish Viking a new arsehole. more penalties. Honestly, every session, penalty, penalty, penalty. It's an absolute disgrace. And he's got 10 points on his licence now. 12 gets you a ban. Hopefully, he gets them 12 and he gets a race ban. And he can have us on the sidelines for a race because he needs to think about what he's doing. It's a disgrace Kevin Magnussen's driving. I mean, in the sprint, he's basically just cutting the track to stay ahead of everyone, so Hulkenberg gets points. It's wrong, it's unsportsmanlike, and it's not hard racing. It's been a cunt, to put it lightly. And then, in the main race, takes out Kevin Magnussen. Komatsu needs a strong word with the Danish man. So there we have it, driver ratings for the Miami Grand Prix. A couple of weeks, we go to Imola. Adios. Norris, a race winner. Fuck it.